So I'm speaking with Greg Sea Lion Cotten. Can I call you that?
Yes.
He's a marine biologist and also one of the organizers of a Red Line in the Sand event that's sponsored by Indivisible and Barrios Unidos in Santa Cruz County. What is this event about? It's, as far as I understand, it starts tonight at 6. Tell us what it is and why you're helping organize it.
So, yeah, thank you. So the event is tonight at 6 p.m. on the beach. It's called Let Gaza Swim. And so when I learned, just really, of course, I think we're all struggling to some degree with what's happening in Palestine and Gaza. And, um, it's I found out that, that they're not, they're starving, right? And there's a famine happening, and they're not allowing them to fish in the ocean, in the sea there, right? Which is they're fisher folks, and this is like really a lot of their culture. And so I learned that they weren't able to fish or even swim. And for me as a marine biologist, I'm like, and I think for many of us here on the Central Coast, right, the ocean is a very powerful connection for us, and it really was just like another gut punch that was just I just couldn't not do something about it to raise awareness about this fact that they're not allowed to fish and swim, and to really honor them in hopes to bring awareness to our congressmen like Jimmy Panetta and Washington D.C. generally, that we recognize the people of Gaza. We're calling for peace. We're calling to let them fish and to feed their families and to feed themselves, and also just to allow them that spiritual healing, that connection, whatever that deep nourishment is that the ocean is often for us, and to allow them to experience that, right? As maybe anybody on is, more than anybody on earth, I think the suffering people of Gaza really could use the magic and the nourishment of the ocean.
Why is it called Red Line in the Sand? What is that about?
So yeah, the red line, there's a red line movement in Europe that's been very successful and very popular. Hundreds and thousands of people have demonstrated in the streets. It hasn't gotten a lot of press in the United States, although there's kind of a lot of media blackout around this. So um, we're really building on the red line movement of Europe, which is kind of is what inspired it. Um, so yeah, so just to be in continuity and stand in solidarity with those who started this movement in Europe.
Generally speaking, the use of that term red line in the sand means something you won't cross. Is there some symbolism in that phrase?
Yeah, right. Thank you. So right, there's a red line, for us. We're symbolically saying you've gone too far. And we're inviting people to dress in red, to really wear their message, that and just as a having our each one of our voices heard on the shoreline next to the ocean. We're going to get in a big long line next to the sea, and hopefully create some great images, and just to be together in solidarity with each other, because I think many of us are really struggling right now to how to be in this situation, how to respond to this situation, and how to respond in a good way that's really like brings people together, is positive, is nonviolent, is a peaceful thing, and we can, and shows our strength at the same time. So that's what we're trying to do here with this event.
And logistically, I know that there was a No Kings event where people put their bodies and spelled something in the sand. It was quite complicated. Um, how do people get involved, and what do you want them to do prior to 6 o'clock tonight? Because we're talking right before the
Minutes.
event is happening. So what do you
Yeah,
want people to do? And I know parking can be an issue in
right. Yeah, it's
Spain.
a good point. Yeah, of course. It's so yeah, we want to start promptly at 6. We're gonna have some speakers there, just briefly, just while people are arriving. But yeah, so it'll only be from like 6 to 7. We're at, inviting people to wear red, but I know some people don't have red, so just come anyway. Like, don't let that stop you. I know time is short. Um, but yeah, so arriving at the boardwalk main beach right there in front of like the water flume next to the river, the water flume ride and kind of the giant dipper. And so we'll meet there on where the San Lorenzo River meets the ocean kind of thing, and we'll gather there, and then from there we'll like get in a straight line at, eventually after the speakers around 6:30, and then yeah, it'll be over like by 7. So really quick, super easy to participate. Hoping there's lots of parking in the parking lot at the boardwalk for people. And of course, it's a beautiful setting, so I think that will be a nice aspect as well.
It's such a difficult thing to see pictures of starving children. There's a lot of pain in the feeling of helplessness. And I always wonder, where do these symbolic gestures get recorded and spread beyond their actual immediacy of visuals? Like, are you having a drone camera and do you post it somewhere? How do you get the message out that you've done this beyond K-Squid?
Yeah, well, thank you for hosting and for bringing this message forward. This is one of the hopes, one of ways, hopefully, we get the message out and just to also to share and expand the knowledge of it because there's so much media blackout about it all. And but it's a good question, right? Like, what is effective and how do we make a difference in this? And I don't have an answer, and I don't know if anyone does really, but I know that numbers matter. I know that taking care of ourselves in these stressful, upsetting times, and I know coming together makes a difference for individuals. I know it does for me when I'm with other people. Like that's part of like self-care, but also building, organizations, building our capacities to show up. I think all of that's sort of like a muscle that we're developing. And I'm a big, advocate for peaceful resistance and peaceful protest. And the hope is that if we are big enough and peaceful enough and bright enough that we can make that difference. Yeah, and I think for us on the Central Coast, Jimmy Panetta is number one, right? To reach. And so I'm hoping that he sees this message in particular because he definitely does not speak for me in this matter. And his vote last June on June 4th for HR 8282, where he voted to protect people being, those war criminals who are being investigated for war criminals. And he literally voted to penalize the international court for those who were investigating war crimes and genocide. So Jimmy Panetta is, for me, is, it's one of the things I really struggle with because I feel like I'm really complicit in all of this. And my congressman is one of the leaders of all of this that's happening. And he's definitely like, and he's not only not making a difference, he's protecting it. And that's for me one of the drivers to do something, right? I'm like, we have to do something. And I'm hoping that this, at the very least, reaches his desk as well as others, and that they're aware of how Jimmy Panetta is voting and how he's actually having us be complicit in all of this, like personally responsible.
We usually think of Santa Cruz County anyway. I don't know about Monterey County because it has such a history of military, but I'm wondering, do you think he's not hearing a big chunk of his constituents? We're a pretty progressive community, and it's surprising to have someone representing people who are seemingly staunchly opposed to what's happening there, especially the starvation of children and the shooting of people as they try to go get food. And now what you're saying, which is making it illegal to fish, you say we're complicit in the sense that our congressman is voting for sending money there and weapons to make this.
And prohibiting the international court from even investigating. Like, I don't know what Jimmy Panetta is afraid of, or what he's trying to protect. Well, I know what he's trying to protect, but you know, yeah, it's a difficult situation.
In Israel, there's increasing protests, and the last poll said 70% of the public in Israel wants the war to end. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big number.
I mean, I'm frankly cynical a little bit with with Jimmy, not even a little bit, but the only place I just keep going to is like follow the money. And I know that he's very well funded by APAC. I can't imagine what justification there would be to protect people from trying to even investigate, like, are people bombing people illegally? Are there war crimes? Are we literally shooting people for the sake of shooting people? I don't know, but that, my sense of it is, but they, the stonewalling of legal processes is, to me, a very big red flag. And again, the only thing I can come up with is the money that he's getting.
Well, has he been invited to this event tonight?
We've, we've done a lot of trying to reaching out to him. I can't tell you how many times I've called him, and frankly, he feels like it's just nothing gets through to him. And so we will definitely be, sending him our message as we always do. And hopefully, maybe this time, if enough people show up and enough people see, right, that we can move him to change his mind on this.
When former military people from Israel say that there's no point in continuing and that Hamas has essentially been neutralized as an effective organization, and this is an ex-Israeli military person, you have to kind of wonder why people keep hanging on to this. And so people locally are doing something about it. It's inspiring that you're taking this awareness campaign to the beach in Santa Cruz. There's probably a lot of tourists who won't know what you're doing unless there's a big sign. So I wish you luck. And for anybody who wants to go, who's listening, starts momentarily. So thank you, Greg Sea Lion Cotten,
Yes.
for being with us here on K Squid and letting us know about this event at the main beach tonight at 6.
Yeah, thanks. We really hope this event is something that is really non-controversial. We think that everyone has the right to swim in the ocean and to fish and to feed their families. That's what we're coming together on, and we really hope that this bridges communities and people that otherwise are a little more hesitant to show up. And we really look forward to seeing everyone on the beach. And the other thing is if you can't do it here, you can create one later or down in whatever city you're in or a coastline near you. Like, we really invite this to be continue the movement and this vision. So thank you for having us, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for being here today on Talk of the Bay.